Welcome to the Saturday Slam and Jam, brought to you by Amazon Prime. On today's show, we are doing our good, bad, and what of the week. We have Christian Clark joining us to discuss the Dallas Mavericks, who are doing a good job tanking. And we'll do some trivia. But before we get to any of that, Alex, what in the world happened in the NBA this week?
Andrew, the top story this week is the San Antonio Spurs, who are in the midst of their longest winning streak of the season, which currently stands at 11 games. This week, the Spurs went 3-0, which included another top-tier win, this one against the Pistons in Detroit. While it wasn't Wemby's greatest offensive performance, he grabbed 17 rebounds and had 6 blocks in the game, and along with Steph Castle, made life miserable for Cade Cunningham, who shot 5 for 26 in the loss. The Spurs got a big offensive boost from Devin Vassell in the game, who scored 28, including 7 of 11 from 3. As of Friday morning, the Spurs are only a game and a half back of OKC for the number 1 seed in the West. By the time you hear this, OKC will have wrapped up one of their toughest stretches of the season, playing Cleveland, Detroit, and Denver this week. The good news for OKC is that SGA is back for the Denver game after missing the last 9 with an abdominal strain. Now, next up for the Spurs, a return to MSG on Sunday afternoon, where last season, Wemby had that memorable game, dropping 42 and 18 with 6 3-pointers. If the Spurs can push their streak to at least 14 by winning their next 3, it will be the 4th longest winning streak in franchise history. Franchise record was set in 2014 at 19 straight wins. Now, the Spurs have won 11 straight, but they aren't the only team playing well. There are actually 4 teams in the East who have won 8 of their last 10. Little quiz, Andrew. The Pistons, the Celtics, the Cavs, and do you know the 4th team, Andrew?
No.
Who would you guess? Who would just be a team you'd guess has won 8 of their last 10?
8 of their last 10.
It's a lot.
That's a whole lot. I don't know, Al. I got no guesses in me. I'm sure.
Why, it's the Milwaukee Bucks, of course. Did you know that?
No. That's
that
so
crazy?
dumb. That's so dumb. It's like, hey, we finally picked a direction. Our hand is forced because of Giannis. And now, of course, we're going to win and just we're pushing ourselves to the middle as hard as possible.
No, they're going on a late season streak, Andrew. They're going to make the playoffs. Listen, hasn't been a murderer's row of opponents, okay, but the Bucks have done what they've needed to do, give themselves a shot at the play-in. They're now just a game and a half back from the 10 spot in the East. Giannis continues to make progress towards his return after missing the last month. He's been playing 3-on-3 and 4-on-4 this week. Giannis's return will hopefully happen soon because the Bucks' schedule does pick up. They've got games against the Knicks, Boston, and the Atlanta Hawks this week, who are one of the teams they'd likely need to pass to make the play-in. Now, the Hawks had a very relaxing week, getting to play the Wizards twice and the Nets. The Hawks won all 3 and have a little extra pep in their step after the debut of Jonathan Kuminga, who had 27, 7, and 4 with 2 steals on 9 of 12 shooting in his first game for the Hawks. He scored 17 in his second game against the Wizards, but had to take a back seat to Corey Kispert, who was out for blood against his former team, dropping a career-high 33 points in the Hawks win. In other Hawks news, mark your calendar, folks, because it was announced this week that on March 16th, the Hawks will be paying tribute to Magic City, the legendary Atlanta strip club, and will be selling the famous Magic City lemon pepper wings in arena. You know, I can remember going to a Thunder game once, and it was like aerospace engineering night or something. I think we were celebrating planes. My point is, special game nights have come a long way. This is shaping up to be a memorable night for all, especially for the fans who show up to this game without realizing it's Magic City night. Imagine getting tickets for just a random Hawks game in March, and it's Magic City night. What a treat that will be for everyone. The other team the Bucks could pass to get into the play-in would be the Charlotte Hornets, who have won 3 in a row, back on track after losing 3 of their previous 4. Similar to the Hawks, it was some dumb fun this week against a trio of tanking teams, with Charlotte winning the 3 games by a combined 73 points. The highlight of the week came in their Thursday night game against the Pacers. Rookie Kon Knueppel hit 8 threes in the game, which gave him 209 threes for the season, breaking the rookie record previously set by Keegan Murray just a few years ago. The next big game for Kon and the Hornets will be next Wednesday when they travel to Boston, the first meeting between these two teams this season, and who knows, a potential preview of a first-round playoff matchup. Now, moving over to the West, it was not a great week for the Lakers. Rough week for the Lakers. They lost 3 in a row. First, they could only manage 89 points against the Celtics in LA, lost that 111-89. They followed that up with another home loss, this one a 1-point loss to the Magic after a late bucket from Wendell Carter Jr. Then to end the week, the Lakers went to Phoenix and lost to a Suns team who was missing Devin Booker and Dillon Brooks, their top 2 scorers. The Lakers were down by 12 with under 6 minutes left. They tie it up with 108 on an Austin Reeves 3 with just a minute left. But in the end, it was Royce O'Neal who hit a go-ahead three-pointer with only 1.7 seconds left, giving the shorthanded Suns the much-needed win after losing 7 of their previous 10. Now, to add insult to injury, Dave McMenamin of ESPN wrote a long-form article this week about DeAndre Ayton, exploring the ups and downs of the dominating experience in LA. The article featured several great anecdotes, including a story from this year about Ayton pulling off a Willy Wonka-style pratfall into a somersault before a game against the Hawks just to do it, just having some fun. We also found out about the Lakers training staff wrapping Ayton's water bottle in tape on which they write DA's crunk juice, drink this to unleash the beast. That's what they write on his water bottle before a game.
It's the most embarrassing feature written about a player ever. I felt embarrassed for him reading it. Just like, does he know all of this is happening? Does he know how this is coming across?
I mean, based on him pulling off that Willy Wonka move, my read on it is that he seems to be cool with it. This is kind of his thing.
Maybe.
There was also an anecdote after the Magic game where Ayton was yelling in the locker room for all to hear, quote, "They're trying to make me Clint Capella. I'm not no Clint Capella." Now, Clint Capella actually responded to this on Instagram.
Yes, he did.
Saying, quote, "You got 2 of the best floor generals in the game, my dog. Lock in." Crying, laughing emoji. In that loss to Phoenix, Ayton finished with 2 points and 4 rebounds in 23 minutes. Finally, a few quick pieces of news. James Harden suffered a non-displaced fracture in his right thumb, but he plans to play through the injury. Not expected to miss significant time. 40-year-old Taj Gibson is back for his 17th NBA season after signing with the Memphis Grizzlies this week. And Pat Riley was in LA to celebrate the unveiling of his statue outside the Lakers arena this week. And those are the top stories, Andrew.
The NBA never stops producing just content that's just unbelievable. Just like, oh, this is kind of a down week. Let's drop an Ayton profile that makes everybody feel even weirder about his Lakers season.
That was great. Okay, Andrew. It's time to talk about something we liked this week, something we didn't like, and something that left us confused in a segment we like to call Good, Bad, What. So what is your good this week, Andrew?
My good this week is I was just going to check in on who are our most efficient shooters from different areas on the court. And so I was going to give some guys a little shout out here. So in the restricted area, the guys who are taking the most shots in the restricted area this season, Zion Williamson has actually taken the most shots in the restricted area, which is interesting. Karl Anthony Towns, number 2, Tyrese Maxey, number 3. The 3 most efficient players in the restricted area this season. Ryan Kalkbrenner, number 1, 79% for the Charlotte Hornets. Pretty impressive. Giannis, 78%, which is still insane. That's an insane percentage for a guy who has the basketball as much as he does and is not Ryan Kalk. I mean, shout out to Ryan Kalkbrenner, but like he's getting a lot of assists. He's not creating a ton of these on his own. Yeah. And then the final player, I need you to do like a drum roll for me or something. It's DeAndre Ayton at 78%.
Wow, in our face, in my face.
So maybe you know what? Maybe he is Clint Capella. Maybe someone should show him this. Be like, you know what? Maybe you are, because you've been extremely efficient in the restricted area this year.
I was reading all that stuff about Clint Capella, and I just popped over to Clint Capella's basketball reference. Like, DeAndre Ayton should go look at his basketball reference. He was really good.
He's a really good player. The irony of all of that is that Capella is so much better than Ayton has ever dreamed of being.
Yeah, I mean, Capella on those Rockets teams, which like similar position with Harden, a great pick and roll ball handler. Ayton's got a great pick and roll ball handler. The way that Capella optimized himself with Harden, like
Yeah.
that's what that's what Ayton should be doing right now. Which apparently, based on these rim stats, maybe it is happening, Andrew. And the
It
2-4 line that he put up in Phoenix is just a mirage.
yeah, it if he were Clint Capella, he'd be about to get paid. Is what
Yeah,
he doesn't realize. Like those
yeah.
comments are just so tone deaf. It's unbearably tone deaf. Okay, in the paint, non-restricted area. Okay, the guys taking the most shots.
Floater
They're
range.
Jaylen Brown, Alperen
Mhm.
Şengün, Jalen
Mm.
Brunson. No surprises there. But the most efficient players in that range, number one player, Peyton Pritchard, 59% in the floater
Wow.
range. Pretty impressive. Another guy, Najee Marshall, who's having an awesome season.
Yeah,
Probably
he
like
is.
one of like the most under the radar great seasons for the Mavericks.
Played
Where
42 minutes in his last game.
he did and is putting up crazy stat lines, 58% in the paint, non-restricted area, floater range. And then Nikola Jokic, of course, 58% in that range, which makes total sense. Mid-range, the guys taking the most shots are very guessable, I would say. Any guesses you want to throw out there?
Kevin Durant, SGA.
Kevin Durant, Shea would have qualified had he played enough.
Hmm.
Kevin Durant is there. DeMar DeRozan's
DeRozan.
still number one
Yeah, okay.
in attempts, and then Brandon Ingram is number two.
Hmm.
The most efficient players in the mid-range, number one, SGA, 53%. TJ McConnell, 52% in the mid-range. And then Donovan Mitchell, who's also having a pretty incredible season. Shots from the corners, we got a couple Knicks here taking the most. Mikal Bridges, OG Anunoby, and Harrison Barnes are the three players that have taken the most corner threes. But the most efficient corner three shooters this season, Bobby Portis, 52%. Another Buck. Maybe this is why they're winning so many games. AJ Green, 51%. And then Kon Knueppel, 50% from the corners. Just crazy efficiency. Pretty impressive for Portis and AJ Green to still shoot that well without any like elite creator on their squad.
Yeah.
And then finally, above the break, the guys taking the most above the break threes this season: Tyrese Maxey, Donovan Mitchell, Luka Doncic. The most efficient above the break 3-point shooters. Well, I kept it at 200 attempts. Cam Spencer is 43%
Wow.
from three this season. Kon Knueppel, 42%, has just been ridiculous. And then three guys are at 41%. Colin Gillespie, Ryan Rollins, another Buck, and Jamal Murray, 41%. So shout out to those guys, the most efficient shooters in the league from all these different areas.
Yeah, I actually started mentioning all those Bucks because I'm going to be talking about half court offense later, and the Bucks were like way higher than I was expecting, and that's probably why. Probably a big reason why. They have so many guys shooting the ball well right now. For my good though, this week I want to talk about the Pelicans and how high they might rise before the end of the season. For all the talk about tanking over the last month, anti-tankers, they should be thanking their lucky stars that Joe Dumars made that trade, because if he hadn't traded for Derek Queen, we'd have another tanker on our hands. Instead, we just have a bad team. But they're definitely trying to win, and they have some things working in their favor as of late. So currently, Pelicans 18-42. They've won 3 in a row, 5 of their last 7. Okay, that's pretty good. Big news this week for the Pelicans was the return of DeJounte Murray. He started the last 2 games. In his most recent game, team high plus 16, 17-9 with 4 steals. It was against the Jazz, but it's good to see him back, and he's already contributing. Other good news includes the continued health of Zion, who has now played in 34 consecutive games, the longest streak in his career. During this recent 7-game stretch where they've gone 5-2, Zion is averaging 24.4 points per game on 64% shooting. Another guy who's been giving them a ton lately is Saddiq Bey, averaging almost 23 per game while shooting 38% on almost 8 threes per game.
Yeah,
and they've needed
crazy.
Bey scoring, because the one bad piece of news is the continued absence of Trey Murphy. He's dealing with a shoulder injury. Looking ahead, though, the Pelicans have a real shot in this final stretch to really help out Joe Dumars and do some damage control on that trade that everyone has been obsessing over since it happened. It wasn't too long ago that the Pels had the third worst record, 15 wins, but they've since jumped Brooklyn and Washington, only a half game back of Utah, who they're definitely going to pass. And then you get this trio of Dallas, Memphis, and Chicago. Okay, so New Orleans is 4 games back of Dallas, 4.5 from Memphis, and then 6 back of Chicago. Chicago, that could be tough to pass. 6 games is a lot,
Yeah,
but
it is.
credit to the Bulls. The Bulls have lost 11 in a row, so who knows? Anything is possible. But let's just say they can jump both Dallas and Memphis, which I do think is doable. That would put them, or Atlanta in this case, with the 8th best odds, 9th if they were somehow able to pass Chicago as well. Obviously, still not great, and with the flattened lottery odds, the risk is still there. But a theoretical Derek Queen for the 8th or 9th pick swap isn't nearly as devastating as this all looked even a few weeks ago. And with DeJounte back and giving them a significant boost to the point guard position, I think there's a real chance this team could finish the season strong, especially if Trey Murphy's injury isn't too serious. So that's my good. Go Pels. Maybe this won't be the worst trade ever. It's not looking awful, wouldn't you say?
Yeah. They have 6 games against tanking teams remaining.
Right. So that should get them to 24 wins,
You would
which
think
that's where Chicago is right now.
if they could get all 6 of those, plus like sneak in, they play Toronto twice, like sneak in a Toronto win here. You know, they could Phoenix. They play Phoenix. They could theoretically beat Phoenix. They play Portland, who I didn't put as a tanking team, but you know, they could beat Portland.
Yeah, and I was looking at their schedule. They have a few teams coming up who like have guys out right now.
Yeah.
So I do think they could continue this. I don't know how good it's going to get, but they're certainly not going to be trying to lose like all of the teams around them.
No.
So who knows?
I mean,
If they somehow could get past Chicago and ended up as the 9th best odds, like that's pretty good.
Yeah.
All things considered.
Yeah. And for Hawks fans, it's devastating to see your pick falling this late.
I know that
it's a tough watch.
Yeah, all the rumors about Presti calling the league, it really should be Atlanta.
Hey, get on the phone, Atlanta. What are you doing?
Take care of all these tankers. They're killing our pick.
Man, Lauren Williams. I need to see some Lauren Williams tweets about the about the Pelicans. I mean, come on.
Okay, Andrew, what was your bad this week?
So I had the good players in shooting, right? Shooting areas. We're going to go to the bad now. We're going to go to the bad. The guys shooting the worst in the restricted area. These are like high volume guys.
Yeah.
The very worst. Jeremiah Fears. Of the Pelicans, 57% at the rim. Then Nickeil Alexander-Walker is 58%, and also Josh Giddey, 58%. Another sneaky bad guy at the rim, Ayo Dosunmu has only been 60% at the rim this season, which is, for a guy who gets to the rim as much as he does, sneaky bad. But also,
I'll be honest with you, though. I hear
good.
those numbers, and I think back to, like, I remember Fred VanVleet was, like, so bad at the rim, but he was always down, like, near 50%.
Yeah.
So I hear 57%. I'm like, oh, it's not too bad.
There's not a lot of guys that are shooting really poorly that go to the rim a lot, which is what these guys are. So, 58%. I mean, we've seen much worse on the Thunder through the years. We've seen much worse. In floater range, the paint non-restricted area shots, it's an all-star trio in the least efficient players. The worst in a tie is Zion and LaMelo Ball at 37% in the floater range.
That's rough.
And then Paolo 39% in floater range. Which is just brutal. Then we go to the mid-range least efficient players. Shaedon Sharpe 33% in the mid-range, as well as Alperen Şengün, sneaky bad mid-range shooter, 33%. And then our guy Paolo makes another appearance on the list at 34%, which is just absolutely brutal. To essentially, and what do we think about when we think about Paolo? What kind of player do we think of? He's a mid-range maestro. He's like the new age Carmelo Anthony. But when you're shooting 39% in the paint, non-restricted, and then 34% mid-range, like those two stats in itself are kind of why a lot of people have been out on
Yeah,
Paolo.
the Ringer does their like top 100 and they
Yeah.
update it. They just updated it last week, and you can go through and kind of look at how guys have trended over the year, which I think is just like it's a fun way to just think about how we're thinking about these players from the
Yeah.
beginning of the season till now. And I immediately went to Paulo's because I assumed it would be a big fall. And yeah, his timeline, at the beginning of the season started out ranked 19th in the league. And at this most recent update, he's down to 42. I just find him to be like one of the most fascinating cases going forward because he's young and because he's been relatively healthy. Obviously, the rest of the team hasn't been healthy, but
Mm-hmm.
what the Magic do this summer is like one of the stories I'm most interested in
Yeah.
heading into the offseason.
And also specifically, what does Paolo do? Like, does he like really work to correct these things? Does he stay in this mode? There's been a lot of stars. I mean, going back to like the Zion, LaMelo, Paolo group, it's like there's been a lot of guys who have like risen really fast in the league, and then they just like plateau or their career goes down. Ja
Yeah.
Morant, another one, is like what are the things that are pushing those guys in that direction, and like what are the things that are pushing guys like Shea, to become better and better. I think it's just really interesting. He's definitely one to watch because I'm not out on Paolo, but he's got to like change his own trajectory somehow, and a
If I
lot of it
can
is shot
defend Shaden
selection.
Sharp really quickly, Andrew.
Yeah.
Just want to point out that in his first 3 seasons, he was very good in the mid-range. Like, I'm looking at cleaning the glass in the long mid-range,
Mm-hmm.
42%, 42%, 47%, and then fell off a cliff this year to 36%.
Yeah.
So,
What's the reason for that?
I mean, he is. I was really hopeful, as I think I mentioned multiple times, that this
Yeah.
would finally be the season that Shaden just put it all together.
Mm-hmm.
And it just hasn't happened.
Mm-hmm.
It hasn't happened in the way I had hoped. Going into the season, I could make the case to myself that like he just has to hit his threes because this guy is already like a good scorer in the mid range. He's great around the rim. Shot 71% at the rim last year, 70% this season.
Yeah.
But yeah, he has definitely taken a step back. And with all their injuries right now, I mean, now he's out 4 to 6 weeks. Denny's been in and out of the lineup ever since he got hurt. He had like a low back injury against the Knicks. It's just the season has taken a turn, I would say, for the
Mm-hmm.
Blazers.
Yeah.
So it's kind of affecting everything.
Well, this isn't the last time I'll be mentioning the Blazers, so just hang
Oh,
on.
great.
Just hang on. A few more Blazers mentions here. Okay, worst corner 3-point shooters on high volume. Ron Holland, 21% from the corners. Just an absolutely brutal season for Ron from the corners. Jake LaRavia, 29%. And then Tumani Kamara is only 30% from the corners this season. Who was pretty good the year before.
Yeah, he was.
And then finally, above the break, the least efficient, minimum 200 attempts. Derek White, 32%. Denny Avdia, 32%. And Shaden Sharp, also 32% from above the break. Yeah. Sorry, Shaden.
Sounds correct.
My computer kept wanting me to autocorrect it to Sharon. Just
Sharon Sharp. For my bad this week, I want to take a look at half-court offense because we're getting closer and closer to the playoffs. Means I'm starting to think about, how much certain narratives about specific teams really matter when it gets to the playoffs. And half-court offense is one of those things that people seem to think matters a lot. We always hear about how the game slows down in the playoffs. You have to be able to execute in the half court. So how much does your regular season half court offense really matter? How bad can you be and still win in the playoffs? So I went back to the 03-04 season on Cleaning the Glass. I looked at the half court offense rank for every team that made the conference finals in the last 22 seasons. So 88 teams in total. How good were they in the half court offense in the regular season? And this won't be surprising, but to win the whole thing, half-court offense does appear to matter. There are exceptions, of course, but the average rank of a champion's regular season half-court offense was 5.7. The only NBA champion in the last 22 years who had a bottom half-court offense was the bubble Lakers, who ranked 16th in 2020. The 2010 Lakers ranked 15th. the 2004 Pistons ranked 13th, and then the 2022 Warriors ranked 12th. The other 18 champions all ranked in the top 8 for half-court offense during the season, 12 of those 22 finishing top 5 in half-court offense. Now, if you expand it out to not winning the whole thing, but just making the finals, you do get a few more outliers. The 2005 Pistons, who lost to the Spurs, they were ranked 24th half-court offense. 2007 Cavs, who also lost to the Spurs, ranked 25th. And then the 2023 Heat, who had their miracle run to the finals, lost to Denver, they ranked 23rd. But in general, the average rank for a half-court offense that just made the finals was 6.3. And in total, out of the 44 teams to make the finals over the last 22 years, only 4 had a bottom half-court offense in the regular season. If you look at all 88 teams that at least made a conference finals, only 9 teams had a bottom half-court offense, and the average rank that you needed to make a conference finals was the 7th best half-court offense in the league. So now I want to take a look at the current standings, see how this year's crop of teams stack up. So I'm just going to read you the top 10 half-court offenses in order. So we're starting off with Denver, the Lakers, Milwaukee, number 3, surprise to me, OKC, Boston, Cleveland, San Antonio, that's 7, Golden State, Minnesota, and the Knicks. Now, there were 4 teams currently in the top 6 of their respective conference who are not in the top 10 for half-court offense. That would be Toronto at 15th, Philly at 17th, Detroit at 18th, and then Houston at 19th. Now, clearly the most interesting name there is Detroit, because if this ranking held and the Pistons won the championship this season, Detroit would have the worst-ranked half-court offense of the last 22 years. I do want to say, though, I do think there's some beautiful symmetry, however, with the fact that 2 of the outliers to make a finals were the 04 and 05 Pistons. Like, this is in their DNA to some extent. But the whole reason I started thinking about this was because of that Spurs-Pistons game and seeing how the Spurs were able to absolutely shut down Detroit in the half court. They held them to 65.6 points per 100 possessions in the half court, which is in the first percentile. Now, the Spurs are obviously unique. They have given Wemby's presence. So it's not like I expect the Pistons to completely stall out in the playoffs, but I do think the lack of additional creation beyond Cade is the biggest question mark regarding their ceiling in the playoffs. The defense is going to give them a floor that'll help them overcome some of those issues. But as of now, when thinking about championship equity, I do think it's worth considering how much of an outlier Detroit would be among recent champions based on their current half-court offense. And so that is my bet. But the season isn't over, so we'll check back in at the end of the season, see what their final ranking is.
Yeah. And, I mean, I don't think anybody thought Detroit was supposed to be the favorite going into this season. You know?
No.
It's the East. The East just almost propels teams. And it's not like the Pistons did anything to propel themselves. It's not like they made like this massive trade or whatever. Like their best players just developed. And they are kind of like a normal, really good team. But like somehow the East will do things to you, like propel you into like the front of the line and be like, all right, now you have to perform. It's like,
Yeah.
The Pistons are kind of still in process of figuring out who they are to a large degree.
And part of it is that they have such a defined identity.
Yeah,
like everyone
totally.
knows it. Like, oh, this is the physical Pistons. They're great defensively. And I think because of that, because their identity is so well defined, it's easier to think about them as a contender, like winning the whole thing.
Yeah.
But I still do think that half-court offense will be something really interesting to watch in the playoffs as teams get to see them night after night.
Yeah, it feels like they need that secondary score still. And
yes,
everything they've tried, has not worked with some of the bets that they have.
Andrew, wrap us up with what is your what?
What? My what is just like the Lakers are just not good with LeBron anymore. And it's maybe it's not even that weird because the guy is over 40 years old, but like you literally, you go into cleaning the glass and you just start sorting like Luka and LeBron, -4. Luka and Austin Reeves and LeBron, -4. And then you put Austin Reeves and Luka without LeBron on the court, plus 10.6. It's like, it's so obvious and it's so awkward. There's so many like obvious things that the Lakers need to do or should do this summer in order to just make their team better. including letting dominate and go. And like, to me, like number one on the list is like they should like fully give themselves permission to let LeBron James go wherever he wants, whether that be Cleveland or the Warriors or wherever he wants, because there's a good team in here. There's just like simply a good basketball team in here. And it's hard whenever perhaps the best player of all time is the one that's like holding it back. And I think it puts the Lakers in a tough spot, because what if LeBron goes back to the table and he's like, hey, would love to come back for another season, for a farewell season. And like, you want to waste another like Luka year? You want to waste another Austin Reeves? And they got to pay Austin too, which I think they will. But I just think that the Lakers are in just a really awkward spot, where this season, I think this season's kind of done for them. They don't have enough good role players. They have only one-way role players essentially. And then these like stars, like they're mega stars in Luka and LeBron. And then Austin Reeves is like right behind them. But it does not work. Whatever combination with LeBron in the lineup, it's just weird. Like it makes me feel weird to look at the numbers. Watching them is awkward. They're losing. I mean, they lost to Phoenix in embarrassing fashion.
And it's a massive loss, because the difference between potentially playing like a team like Houston in the first round in a 3-6 matchup versus falling to the play-in and having to just get blasted by the Spurs.
Yeah.
I mean,
if you have to play the Spurs or the Thunder in round one, like it's done.
Yeah.
Like you're toast.
And I think those types of matchups would make all of this a lot clearer, like just how big the difference is between the Lakers right now and some of these top teams in the West.
Yeah, it would be kind of a disaster if they like beat Houston in round one and they're like, all right, let's make another run at this. We were just right there. We were just right there. And say, no, you're not.
Ayton has some huge series because Steven Adams isn't there.
Hey, we're talking about one of the most efficient players around the rim in DeAndre Ayton.
That would be a very funny outcome. My what this week is a stat about Kon Knueppel, who I mentioned broke the rookie record for made three-pointers this week.
Yeah.
Breaking a record set by Keegan Murray during the 22-23 season. I can remember covering that on Slam and Jam a few years ago as it came down to the wire, seeing if he was going to do it. He eventually broke Donovan Mitchell's record in the 80th game of the season. He hit 5 threes in a game against Portland. And now we're talking about Kon breaking that record in 59 games played. Forget rookie records. Like what we're seeing from Kon Knueppel is rare, period. Yeah. He has 209 threes through 59 games. I looked it up on StatHead. There are only 15 other players in NBA history, I don't care what year of their career it was, who reached that number through their first 59 games of a season. And to really put this in perspective, Klay Thompson, Splash Brother, one of the greatest shooters of all time, he only did it once in his career, reaching 209 three-pointers by his 59th game. I triple-checked that because it sounded so wrong, but it is true.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And Kon is doing that as a rookie at 20 years old. Those other 15 guys I mentioned, the youngest to ever do it, just hit 209 through your first 59 games. It was Anthony Edwards last year at age 23. Kon is 20. We may very well be watching the first chapter in one of the greatest shooters in league history.
Yeah.
And I think that is well deserving of a what.
Yeah. He's been unbelievable. It's been really cool to see what he is, and on a team that like was not good last year.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Klay got to play with Steph Curry.
That was nice.
That was very helpful. Something else is helpful is talking to our friend Christian Clark, which we're going to do about the Dallas Mavericks right after this quick break.
All right, Andrew, it's time for the Wheel of Fandom, the weekly segment where we spin a wheel, it lands on a team, and we become fans of that team for the next week. Last week, the wheel landed on the Dallas Mavericks and their exciting rookie Cooper Flagg. Oh boy, finally a chance to lock in on Cooper Flagg for a week. And by Cooper Flagg, I of course mean Chris Middleton and Najee Marshall, because Cooper Flagg did not play this week. The Mavs came into the week on a 9-game losing streak and pushed it to 10 after a loss to the Wolves, but then had a couple of thrilling, and I do mean thrilling, wins over the Pacers and Nets, who both have 15 wins. Mavs fans who are cheering on the tank right now were probably not happy after those games, but the Mavs made it up to them on Thursday night by somehow finding a way to lose to the Sacramento Kings, despite Najee Marshall putting up 36, 10, and 6 in 42 minutes. The loss brings Dallas to 21-38, 11th in the West, and 7th in the reverse standings. Per Cleaning the Glass, the Mavericks have the 26th ranked offense and 15th ranked defense. Andrew, if the Mavericks are a favorite team, who is our guest?
It's my guy, Christian Clark of The Athletic. Christian, welcome to the Slam and Jam.
Hey, guys. Thank you for having me on. Let me paint a little picture of the state of the Mavericks right now. So
Yes, please.
when you walk into American Airlines Center, the media entrance side, there's an enormous banner. And there, at the beginning of the season, there was 2 Mavericks players on that banner. It was Kyrie Irving and Anthony Davis. Makes a lot of sense, right? Well, the Mavericks had their first home game in 3 weeks on Thursday. So it's been a while since I've been at the AAC. And I'm walking in, and I see Kyrie Irving's still there, but there's a different face up there at Anthony Davis's place. It's none other than Najee Marshall in front of the Dallas skyline.
No way.
This is a Najee Marshall city now.
Yes. I think that's part of your contract whenever you move to Dallas. Like, Najee must be here with me. Like, I've got to.
That's right. I wrote it in. I've covered him literally his entire career. I was there during his rookie season when he was an undrafted 2-way guy during COVID playing for Stan Van Gundy in an empty Smoothie King Center.
What
so
wild.
I
That's
can
like
write
a
the
Mad
Najee
Lib.
Marshall book.
That's an NBA Mad Lib. That can't be real. Okay, Christian. So we didn't get to see Coop this week, but he's had an awesome rookie season. In the 6 games prior to this injury, Flagg was averaging 32 points per game, including a 49-point masterpiece. Offensively, where has Coop improved the most this year?
Yeah, I mean, I think the first 2 weeks of the season, Jason Kidd effectively put the ball in his hands and made him the point guard, and he looked uncomfortable, and he said he was uncomfortable. And, I think a lot of that was him obviously playing out of position. I think a lot of it was the players around him. I mean, Anthony Davis was playing the 4. Anthony Davis can't really shoot jumpers that well, next to another like Gafford and Lively, who also, are not really outside shooting threats. But, Cooper Flagg has got more comfortable with the ball in his hands, initiating offenses as the season has gone on. His jumper, like we saw at Duke, like there's been an uptick in his efficiency. He's actually been, decent from 3 in the new year. It was pretty rough to begin the season. He's really good at going left. I think he's one of these weird guys where, he identifies as a right-hand dominant. He obviously shoots with his right hand, but he's a better left-handed driver than right-handed driver. And I think it's a weird thing that throws defenders off sometimes. I mean, he's better going to that left, and he's so good at the rim, finishing with either hand.
So the Mavs don't have a ton of young players, but Max Christie is one of them. He's had a really nice season for the Mavs at age 22. He's increased his true shooting to 62%, hitting over 42% of his threes. As you think ahead to next season and his future with this team, where are the biggest areas of improvement needed for Max Christie to take that next step?
Yeah, I mean, he's had a really nice season. I think he's a guy the Mavericks, will look at potentially extending his contract this summer. I think, one area the Mavericks would say is he shot the heck out of it, and we love it. We want him to take more. He's kind of a medium volume guy, and they've pushed him all season. We want you to be a high volume guy. We want you taking 8 or 10 threes per game because they just don't have a lot of shooting on this roster. They need him to do that. I would say that's honestly the biggest thing, that Jason Kidd has emphasized throughout the season. I think he's a pretty good defender. There have been times this season when, like they put him on lead guards, but they've even put him on like Michael Porter Jr. They'll put him on, much bigger players than him from time to time. And I think some of that's just the Mavericks personnel, but I think he's good playing off Cooper Flagg. He's a guy who obviously can hit the spot up shot, and he's pretty good attacking closeouts. I think the big thing is just, that volume, really.
So, Christian, there's still 24 games left, and we don't know if Coop's going to play the rest of this way. I mean, hopefully we get to see him play, but is there anything that you're looking forward to or like anything interesting that you're watching for over this final stretch? Like, are you excited for some AJ Johnson minutes? Like, is there like what are we watching for in this final stretch for the Mavs?
AJ Johnson, yeah, a good stretch last night, the best stretch we've seen in a Mavericks uniform. Um, I've enjoyed watching Chris Middleton in the 6 games he's been a Maverick. I mean, we still don't know if he's gonna be a Maverick past March 1st. You know,
Yeah.
they've got a decision to make. Are they gonna buy out his contract or not? You know, he's gotta decide, do I wanna finish the season in Dallas or, go ring chase, essentially. I mean, I like watching his game. He's got, the old man game, great with pump fakes. I hope we see a lot of Cooper Flagg because it's pretty brutal without him. I mean, I've got Charlotte and Dallas coming up in early March circled in my calendar as potentially Cooper Kon Knueppel Part 2, and then there's a game on March 6th where Cooper, hopefully who's going to be back in the lineup soon, will play in Boston for the first time. We should have a story coming out that day, but you know, everyone around Cooper Flagg is an enormous Celtics fan. You know, the story has been out there that his mother, Kelly Flagg, drove the Flagg boys around in her minivan, put on the 85-86 Celtics championship DVD, and just, that was their propaganda basically. Like that was how Cooper learned about basketball. So I think that could be a pretty cool scene of Cooper playing in Boston on March 6th.
So, for a lot of Mavs fans, I'm assuming attention is shifting towards the NBA draft if it hasn't already. Let's imagine a world where the Mavericks jump up again and they're able to grab one of these top 3 prospects. What is your feel for kind of the fan base, how they're ranking those 3 prospects, who they think would fit the best next to Cooper?
I would say, just my pulse on the fan base is DeBanson number 1.
Mhm.
I think just because he's so, good at scoring, and Cooper is this guy who is so good at everything. Like Cooper, I think they view it as like they could be excellent complements to each other. I think DeBanson is the biggest one you see. I don't really have a feel after that. I mean, I think one of the interesting things with the Mavericks is we don't even know who's going to be running the draft for them. I mean, they still have a co-interim GM situation with Matt Riccardi and Michael Finley.
Yeah.
Their messaging has been, "Hey, we know we have to have Nico Harrison's permanent successor in there before draft time," but that's a huge question that needs to be answered. This spring, who's going to be the Mavericks' full-time general manager? We still don't know.
Yeah. And like these guys are at games right now. Like the GMs are going to college basketball games, watching and deciding who they like and like forming their big boards. And I know that you can still have your scouts and get all your opinions kind of scraped together, but to not know who the decision maker is. And luckily it's not the most important draft because they did get Cooper Flagg, but it is a very important draft for them to like get this right. Whether it's
Can I ask you guys one draft thing?
yeah.
Okay, what's your best read on what's going on with Darryn Peterson?
Some of like the stuff you hear about him is that he has like a really good like family and he's got a good history as like everything really before this year. Everything this year has been very weird. And I think like the read that I get on it is that teams don't really know what to do. Like what they've seen on the court is pretty amazing. I think most teams are not going to shy away from that. But I also think that teams want to sit down and like get in the room with this guy before any decisions are made. Because there's been guys that have had weird seasons. Jalen Johnson had a ridiculously weird season at Duke where he just left. Kyrie Irving did not have like the greatest year either. And then there's other cases where guys had weird years and they were guys you shouldn't have drafted. And so I think the interview portion of this draft cycle is going to be outrageously important, especially for the team that's picking number 1. Because if he ends up being a guy who is flaky and is not willing to do the things you need to do to be one of the best players in the league, then like you're missing out on DeBancer. You're missing out on Cameron Boozer, Caleb Wilson, Kingston Flemings is going to be an awesome point guard, I think. But Peterson is like he's still to me like the top level talent here, and there are safer picks certainly. yeah, I think like a lot of the intel like before this year was all really good. And so I think it leaves people really confused. And so like that's another reason why you need to have a GM in place, because when you can sit down with him, like you need to know. Like you need to know like what kind of person am I bringing into my organization? And was this just kind of a weird year for him because he was getting bad advice? Like I don't know the answer to all of that.
Yeah, I want to shout out our good friend Sam Vecini because he had kind of an extended segment on Darryn Peterson this week. And his basic point was like, if you go back and look at the high school tape, like there's aspects of it that look like two completely different players. Like in his opinion, Darryn Peterson's clearly injured this season. And for all the questions about, his competitiveness and his toughness, he kind of reframed it for me as like, I think he wants to play and he's trying to play, but he really does have some type of injury because you can look at the tape in high school and it looks like a completely different player in terms of explosiveness. And so maybe it's more of a question of like, okay, well then how serious are these injuries? And that's really what the question should be about rather than
Yeah.
any like personality concerns. Because by all accounts, it seems like he's a super hard worker and super competitive and he just looks different from how he looked in high school while still being pretty awesome when he does
Yeah.
play at Kansas.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I watched that first half of Kansas BYU. I was like, oh my God, I don't know how you couldn't take this guy number one, and then he doesn't play in the second half.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that point is true. It's like when you watch, his high school tape, it's like this is just he's playing a much different style of basketball than he's playing at Kansas. I mean, he's just way more explosive. So I don't know what he's going to look like at the NBA level. But his talent just obviously looks unreal. And I think, like you said, Andrew, that pre-draft process will be super important for teams.
Yeah. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how those rankings change, because they'll shift a little bit, once the closer we get to the draft, and like people's opinions change. And a lot of it is just based on like what NBA teams think about these guys' personalities, and who they are. So looking ahead further into the offseason, what's your expectation for how the Mavericks will approach this summer? The big man logjam is still there. Kyrie should be back next season. What do you think are like the biggest priorities for the Mavs as they kind of shape their roster?
Yeah, number one, as we talked about, hiring whoever is going to have the vision, or we need a lead basketball decision maker in here.
Yeah, we gotta stop saying that in Dallas. We gotta stop talking about the vision.
Sorry for using the V word if that was triggering. My bad. Yeah, we don't know who's going to be running the show. Look, Kyrie Irving has got one more year on his deal, and then he's got a player option the year after that. I think it makes sense to bring him back. Their biggest flaw right now is just they've got no guard creators. Basically, D'Angelo Russell was brought in to address that, and we know how that turned out. I think another interesting thing is Derek Lively is extension eligible. Do the Mavericks still view Derek Lively as like part of the core, because he's awesome when he plays? Like he's so good when he plays. You want him to be your starting center. He just hasn't played that much, and he's had a ton of injury issues, some right foot stuff, which can be a little scary for big men. I think Max Christie potential extension. I think the biggest thing they got to do is, Kyrie will help a lot with the guard creators, but like they got to do something to address the backcourt, because that's been their biggest problem this year.
All right. Well, Christian, thank you for answering all of our Mavs related questions. It's now time to play Andrew versus the Beat, our weekly trivia show where Andrew goes head to head against an NBA beat writer this week, Christian Clark of The Athletic. Now, Christian, what I've done is I've come up with 8 questions about the Mavs. You're going to give me a number between 1 and 8. It will correspond to a question. If you get it right, you'll get at least 2 points. And if you get it wrong, Andrew will have a chance to steal for 1, and we'll go back and forth till all the questions have been asked and answered. So to start us off, I just need a number between 1 and 8.
I will go 3.
Question number 3. Cleaning the glass has Dallas's offense ranked 26th in the league. The last time their offense was this bad was the 2016-17 season when they ranked 27th. Who led the Dallas Mavericks in total assists in the 2016-17 season?
This is crazy.
Oh, man.
A memorable Mavs team.
Man, I'm probably gonna like name somebody who wasn't even on the roster.
It is a collection of guys.
2016-17. Man, they had so many different. They cycled through so many different people here in those last Dirk years. Man, I don't know. I'm stumped.
Is that a pass, Christian?
I'll pass.
Andrew, do you have any guesses?
I think this was the Nerlens Noel hot dog team. Is that right?
He was on the team. Was he only there 1 year? Was there a hot dog year and a non-hot dog year? That is what I'm trying to figure out.
Yeah, I don't know.
He was on Dallas 2 seasons. So
I think
this
Tim
was actually
McMahon
the
took that
first
picture,
season.
by the way, of the hot dog. I think he was in the media room and he got the famous photo of Nerlens going for the hot dog.
So funny. The hot dogs are good. Like, I don't fault him. There's some good dogs.
Yeah. More of a timing issue, at halftime.
It's definitely a timing issue. It's not the dog. This is not the dog's fault, okay? I don't know. JJ Barea.
He was on the team. That's good. It was Darryn Williams.
Oh my God.
Darryn Williams. If you can believe that.
He's a DFW guy. I should have got that. He's from
That is
the
wild.
colony.
That is
man.
wild.
All right, Andrew, board is yours.
Number 1.
In the last 30 seasons, there are only 3 Mavericks rookies who played more minutes in their rookie season than Cooper Flagg. Who are they? You get 1 point per correct answer.
In the last 30 seasons.
Yeah, only 3 Mavericks rookies who have played more minutes than Cooper Flagg has, which, I mean, he's only played, 50 whatever games.
Yeah.
There's only been 3 to play more minutes than that.
That is
30
wild.
years.
Wow. Devin Harris.
No, that's a bad guess, Andrew.
Okay. He was a top pick, wasn't he? He was like
I know, but that's a bad guess.
Is it? Okay.
It's a bad guess.
I don't know why. I think he was a top 10 pick.
What
Christian, you
about
can
our
steal
friend
3
Luka
points.
Doncic?
That is why it's a bad guess, Andrew. Yes, Luka Doncic. Correct.
See, you say 30 years, it just like sends my brain just like as far back as I can go. Dang it. That is a bad guess.
Christian, you could get 2 more points here if you could name the other 2 players. Mavs rookies.
I can't remember if the game's played total, but how about Dennis Smith Jr.?
Ooh, there's another one.
Dang.
10 points on the board. Could you name the third and final name to steal all 3 points from Andrew and leave him ruined?
Let me see here. I feel like, am I right that you got to go way back, or you got to go pretty far back to get this one, or no?
I can't tell you that.
Okay.
I can't reveal that information.
No hints. Dirk Nowitzki?
It was Dorian Finney-Smith.
Oh.
Well,
All right, Christian,
Dang.
you're up 2, and the board is yours.
What about Roderick Bobois?
What about Roderick Bobois? Untradeable, untouchable.
Untouchable. That's right.
I'll take 5.
Hey, but for real though, I genuinely felt like devastated that he was not on the Thunder. I thought
I know,
missed out
because they selected him with the Thunder's pick.
Yeah,
And they traded Byron Don't Call Me BJ Mullins to get that
I
pick.
was destroyed.
I know.
Okay, question number 5. Cooper Flagg averaging 4.7 free throw attempts per game. Among active players, only 10 averaged more free throw attempts per game during their rookie season, and we're going to name them all. So, Christian, you'll give me a name, then Andrew will give me a name. We'll go back and forth. So these are active players who, during their rookie season, averaged more free throw attempts per game than Cooper Flagg, which is 4.7. So, Christian, we'll start with you.
I'll start us off with Luka Doncic again.
Luka, number 4 on the list. Andrew.
Number 4. LeBron?
LeBron did not.
What?
Wait, that doesn't sound right. Hold on. Give me a
LeBron
second.
did not?
That sounds wrong. How many free throw attempts per game did LeBron have? Yeah, he had 5.8. Sorry about that.
Oh, okay.
Correct.
I was like, wait a minute.
That didn't seem right. That didn't seem right. Okay.
Okay.
You're still alive. Christian, back to you.
Okay.
Okay.
How about Kevin Durant?
Kevin Durant, he's on the list. Andrew.
That's a good guess. Kevin Durant, LeBron James. We're doing so good.
Plucking the low-hanging fruit.
Yeah, I know. You have to.
How about Darren Williams? I'm just kidding.
What about Ant?
Anthony Edwards. Not on the list.
Dang.
Also going to check it. Because that sounds real too. Let's see. As a rookie, Ant average only 3.8 per game.
No, he's so close.
Wow. Christian,
Dang.
you get both points. The
Dang.
other names. Number 1, Joel Embiid in 34 games or whatever it was.
Oh.
Paulo Banchero. Zion.
Yeah.
Benedict
Zion.
Mathurin.
Dang it.
Andrew Russell Westbrook.
Yeah.
Victor Wembanyama, Trae Young, and Jaden Ivey.
Jaden Ivey.
And that's kind of interesting.
Could have given me a million guesses, and I never would have gotten Jaden Ivey.
Yeah, no, me neither. Andrew, board is yours. You're down by 4.
It's not good. 2.
And the hardest question I came up with.
Okay.
And that's a hint, kind of. Cooper Flagg currently leads the Mavs in total points, total rebounds, and total assists. Who was the last rookie to do that? To lead their team, total points, total rebounds, total assists.
Huh.
And the hint was this was hard. It's a hard question.
Goodness. I don't know. It's going to be a weird one if it's that
Guess we
hard.
can't guess LeBron at the first.
Yeah, it's not even weird. It's you'll see.
Blake?
Oh, that is correct.
Oh,
yes.
Look at that.
Good pull.
It's weird because he only averaged like 3.5 assists or something per game.
Well, that Clippers team was weird because they didn't have CP yet.
Yeah. And so he ended up doing it because I think Baron Davis was still on the team, but he didn't play nearly as much as Blake. So good job, Andrew. Good job.
I needed that.
Okay, Christian, board is yours.
Number 7.
Question number 7. How many career dunks does Tyus Jones have? Now, you get to choose who answers first. You can make Andrew answer first, and then you go higher or lower, or you can answer first, and then Andrew goes higher or lower. If you make Andrew guess and he gets exactly correct, he would get a bonus point. So something to consider. Career dunks, Tyus Jones.
All right, Andrew, I'm gonna give you the floor. Give you the first shot here.
All right.
These
are tough. These are tough because these are you'll name guys that I can't even imagine dunking. Like I have no imagination for it. And Tyus Jones is definitely one of those guys. I'll say 3.
All right. Andrew has set the bar at 3 dunks. Christian, would you like to go higher or lower?
I think I'm going to Price is Right him and just go higher.
Andrew got within 1 dunk of the correct answer.
Was it 4-2?
And the correct answer is 2. Andrew gets the point.
2 dunks. When were they in his career? It could not have been recently.
They were both in the same season, both when he was playing for Minnesota in the 17-18 season.
Oh, a long time ago.
Long time ago, yeah. Okay,
Unreal.
Andrew, you've cut the deficit to 1. It's now 4-3, and the board is yours.
Number 4.
Question number 4. There are 8 two-man lineups featuring Cooper Flagg that have logged at least 400 minutes this season. Which teammate has been the best combo with Flagg with a minus 0.2 net rating when they play together? That was the best. Still minus, but that's the best. So it's Cooper plus this teammate is the best Cooper Flagg related two-man lineup.
Oh, Najee?
Wrong. All right, Christian, you could steal a point here.
That was going to be my guess. Najee, the face of Dallas Marshall. 400 minutes. Anthony Davis? Did they play 400 minutes together?
I think they did. The correct answer, though, Brandon Williams.
Oh.
Brandon
Interesting.
Williams.
Huh.
Brandon Williams. Okay. Christian, it's your turn. 6 or 8?
Give me 8.
Question number 8. How many players have had a 30-point game for the Mavericks this season? You don't have to tell me who they are. Just the number of players who have had a 30-point game for the Mavericks this season.
I'm going to say 4.
And that is correct.
Wow.
And that will
Dang.
make it impossible for Andrew
No.
to get the win. I'm sorry, Andrew. You do still get first dibs on the final question.
No.
Final question is, which of the following is not a Basketball Reference official nickname for a Dallas Mavericks player?
Okay,
I'm going to read you 5 nicknames.
Okay.
4 of them are real. 1 of them is false. Here we go.
Mhm.
The Main Event, Pistol, WD-40, Billy Willie, or Big Smokey. Once again, that was The Main Event, Pistol, WD-40, Billy Willie, or the Big Smokey. Big Smokey. What do you think?
Billy Willie. Who is Billy Willie? I guess I'll say Billy Willie.
Oh, you found me out, Andrew.
Yes.
Billy Willie is the nickname of Brandon Williams, the defensive tackle, recently retired, played for the Ravens.
Okay.
I was looking up Brandon Williams' nicknames, and he popped up. I said, I like Billy Willie. That's a fun nickname. So the final score is 6-5.
You would make up a nickname like Billy Willie and throw that in there.
Yes. Yes, he would. He absolutely would. Go read Christian at The Athletic. Christian, thanks for coming on.
Thanks, guys.
All right, Andrew, that was Mavs week. We're going to spin the wheel of fandom again and pray that we do not get another tanking team.
Please.
Because there would be some, if we got the Pacers this week,
Yeah.
that would be a rough one. The
Yeah.
Kings would be a rough one.
The Kings are winning games.
That's true. They just I should have mentioned that in the week, the top stories that they did
I know.
end their 16-game losing streak. That was big news.
Yeah.
All right, let's spin the wheel, see who we get. Man, it'd be nice to get the Hornets. Wouldn't that be nice, wheel?
That would be so
Here we
nice.
go.
We're
Our
not.
team
We're not.
this week.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Okay. We can do that. 76ers.
Ooh, the Philadelphia 76ers.
The Philadelphia 76ers.
The endlessly interesting 76ers. They are nothing but interesting all the time, I feel like.
I mean, they're the only team that would have 2 separate fan podcasts schedule a trip to another city for the same game, and then you would hear on the broadcast fire Maury Chance.
That's true.
Only team where that would happen.
Shout out to Rice to Ricky Sanchez and Ball. It's what a delight, you know.
And he was there.
He was there. Yeah. Took a picture with our guys Spike and Mike. So
listen to this. Oh my gosh, what a great week.
Oh
Finally,
gosh.
good week.
Oh my gosh.
Sunday at Boston on Peacock.
Yeah, let's go.
Tuesday, San Antonio at home, Peacock. Wednesday, Utah. Okay, but those first 2 games, pretty good.
Hey. Yeah, maybe they'll beat Utah and feel pretty good about it in the Tony Jones Bowl, I guess, in Utah. So, so what they're calling it. That's what everybody's trying to call it. Hey, leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. We'll read it on the show, just like this one. This is from Milo's dad. Okay, if you don't remember, Milo left us a review earlier this year. He's a 13-year-old that loves the Blazers. And so we ended up actually talking about the Blazers randomly. And Milo wanted that. So shout out to Milo. This is from Milo's dad. Although he could be prone to hyperbole, Milo said hearing you read his comment on your podcast was the best thing that's ever happened in his life.
Wow.
He may have forgotten a few other significant events. in his 13 years, like the birth of a sibling, a trip to Hawaii, etc. I love that. This is such a dad comment. But regardless of this, this is up there for him. Thank you for making a show for NBA fans of all ages, and at minimum, making his day. Go Blazers. Loved that. Loved that review. This one from Thomas Paint, 5 stars, NBA Slam and Jam. I really enjoyed the positive vibes of Slam and Jam. I could be wrong here, but I'm fairly persuaded that Andrew Schlecht is a Christian, which is true. I'm also a Christian, and it comes through in how he carries himself on the pod. Well done, sir. Alex is a hoot, and the dynamic between the hosts is fantastic. Thank you so much for that review. From Al Pack Nose Ball. Greatest B-ball pod.
Nose ball.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not like your nose, but like he knows ball. Greatest.
Okay. Okay. That makes a lot more sense.
Greatest B-ball pod ever? Low star reviews are for low star people. Keep it up. Thank you for those reviews. And then I think this one is for who to protect in the draft that we're doing. It'll be this next week on the morning shoot around. But 5 stars for the Knicks. These are the guys that should be protected: Brunson, Cat, Bridges, Hart, Anunoby, Robinson, Deuce, and Tyler Kolek, which I think is close to what we had. I need to relook and see which ones that we didn't have. So.
Oh, Andrew, correction to last week's pod.
Yeah.
I said that Jaylen Brown had his first career triple-double, and I said, well, that doesn't sound right. It wasn't.
Oh.
It wasn't. He's had 6.
Oh.
He's had 6. Yeah, so sorry to Jaylen Brown.
Sorry to Rylan as well.
It wouldn't have affected that, promise.
Okay. No, we're all good. We're all good. Hope everybody's having a great weekend. Hope you're enjoying the basketball, and we will talk to you guys again next Saturday.